The finals just recently had its community dev stream, and there was actually a ton of information packed in that, even some additional things for Season 7 and some IRL goodies. Also a new teaser for a brand new dev Q&A. With that'll be some future hints on what we'll see for upcoming seasons. We got a ton to talk about. What's up world, it's Utopia here back in with another video. Today we're checking out all things the finals. As always, we'll jump right into it. We'll get into the stream, which was labeled heavy hitters and developers versus community. And as per usual, it's always Oscar streaming these. And as I mentioned, we have a ton of information to unpack there. Right out the gate here, we have stuff for Season 7 and future seasons. Now this first question was based on what we would see in the future if we're going to be getting any new major sponsors, when we could see all of those being tied into the finals. Rob does answer this one saying that they will add all major sponsors eventually in the future, but currently they are looking at store updates and a few other things, so unfortunately not right now, and they're asking basically what sponsors do we want to see first. Obviously they are focused on the rework stuff, they're reworking weapons and how that animation system works. They just fixed a huge and massive bug. They're also getting things balanced and tuned for the majors. But I do believe after that is when we'll see a lot of the sponsors start to hit into the finals. Maybe we'll run a poll today or tomorrow for the sponsors, which ones you guys would want to see in the future. I'll throw that one up on YouTube and ask Shy Dog if he wants to do the one for Discord. That way we can kind of mix and match those together and get all the votes tallied up and see which sponsors you guys would want to see first. Next up here, we do have some information on Season 7, or it looks like we even got info up to patch 7.6, where someone asked if we're going to get new modes, LTMs, or even game shows. Rob did say here more is coming, that he wants to leak all the way up to 7.6 if he could, where that gets further clarified here by Jesse, who asks why 7.6 specifically. Is there another hint or something? Can you come back and just give us some hints for the EE Discord, that they're drowning and they could use some more hints for the Easter eggs. Rob does mention here that he will come back eventually and drop more hints, that he gave people a season to finish level 3, but they have something big for you in Season 7. Does look like they're going to be dropping more Easter eggs there, maybe some more hints, and we'll get some new massive things tied to that to finish the levels, as they do gear up for Season 7 here. This next one here also does pertain to the future of the finals, or again, someone asked about elimination cams. People seem to really want those. I definitely understand it. I definitely feel that when I play some other games, I sometimes come back to the finals expecting them to happen. Although all in all, I don't think they actually need it per se, but I could definitely get people wanting those. Rob does here ask one of his engineers who's sitting next to him, and the engineer does explain back to Rob that it's actually really hard to get elimination cams in a dynamic game. Some people even say it's literally impossible. Rob does say here, blah blah blah, if you ask me, the plan is to get it in before the majors. I know they definitely really want to have this in play, and from my understanding, elimination cams, the reason why it's really hard to get it into a dynamic game is it actually does rebuild the scene in the camera. So it's not just a replay or anything like that. It doesn't record or pre-record what happened. That would require way too much hard drive space and probably induce some latency. What it does is essentially rebuilds the entire environment and everything that happened to you. That's why sometimes in other games the elimination cam is somewhat off, as it's essentially rebuilding what happened and a play-by-play there, so it doesn't have to use constant hard drive space to record your actions. And when you have something like the finals in a dynamic game, it would have to rebuild all the destruction, which would be very intense for some systems. So yeah, I could see why it'd be quite difficult there. Again, if there's any game devs that could explain that further, I do believe that's how the system works. At least from what I've been told, that's kind of how it happens. So I see why that could be difficult in a dynamic game. Maybe they figure out some sort of solution. That would be pretty crazy, and if anybody, it would be the Battlefield developers that do so. If you didn't know, Embark devs, a lot of them are from the old Battlefields, which do have that destruction system, so I do have faith in them there. Next up here, I know I did mention a developer Q&A. No, this one isn't tied through the Reddit. In fact, this one is actually from me. I don't have specific dates just yet when this is going to happen, but I should be hosting a dev Q&A with Rob, as well as a few other Embark employees. As Rob does say on here, he says, "Hi Utopia, when will you do an interview with me? I would love that, and thanks for all your support and great work." Really appreciate that, Rob. Thank you for the kind sentiments there. But yeah, we've been trying to get this going. I know I've been a little bit delayed on that, so I should be hosting a dev Q&A here sometime soon. Again, I can't give specific dates on that, but I am actually hosting an event to ask those questions. This is actually through my Discord and is currently running right now. Now this one is pertaining to cosmetics only. I might slip in a few other questions there, but I really want to hammer down on the cosmetics within the finals, how that all works out, everything there. as I've noticed a lot of dev Q&As, the ones with the Reddit and YouTube, those have already asked about lore and everything there. They've already asked all those questions. I figured it would be really nice to actually do one about cosmetics here. So again, if you want to get in your questions, you want to have those asked through me to Rob and the other employees, I will actually do so based upon the top 15 to 20 questions. So if you head over to my Discord, at the top of the finals category, it says the finals dev Q&A. You can go in there and submit your questions that you want to have asked through me, and I'll take the highest upvoted ones, maybe sprinkle in some ones that I really like as well. That's going to run all the way till May 31st where you can submit, and then the voting will be extended till June 2nd. So you do have plenty of time to get these in and the voting that will happen. Again, it's over on my Discord right now, so if you do want to participate in that or check out any of the submissions, you can do so. After that point, I should have a date on when the Q&A will actually happen. I still got to iron out and work out those details though. And there is one more comment here from Rob. He says, awesome, looking forward to that, and I can promise you some AAA Tier 1 leaks. So there might be some insider info that we get with that one, which would be really cool. Moving on, I know I've gone over this a couple times now, but they are ramping up the Ospuze details. That's for the IRL drinks. Now, someone does ask here, are they going to be made globally available? Rob does hit on that, saying, unfortunately, probably not. It's really tricky to get soda energy drinks shipped globally, especially nowadays with everything happening. However, I would assume they get it in most major regions. And again, maybe they even make it available online just with extra shipping cost. We'll have to see on that. They should have details out soon. Or we even have a further comment here by Rob, who said that Janice had a business meeting yesterday, which was the stream day, with the partner, so she should have details soon. Or at least she does have those details. If you didn't know, Embark Janice, she runs all of this stuff for the merch. That's her department with everything. But it does look like they are gearing up to actually get this out here. Now again, I would give that a few months still, as they're still having meetings and ramping that up. Things do take time there, but it is really cool to hear about that. Now I jumped around a bit here, but with the Q&A, obviously that's about the cosmetic stuff. We actually do have one more comment here about the cosmetics in the finals. We had a fellow subscriber, Pokey1177, who asked here, can we get a Panda pet backpack like the dogs for the Panda lovers? And Rob does mention here they have looked at backpacks, slippers, and even beanies. So pretty cool there. We got the fingernails, we have tails now. There's so many unique cosmetics in the finals, and they just keep hammering those in. It's so cool to see that, so that's why I want to do the Q&A around it as well. Seems like they are really ramping up on the cosmetics, so that's super cool to hear. We had one last detail here from the final stream. People have been asking them to do a 24-hour stream instead of a 2-hour one, and I believe even Oscar agreed to this one. But they do mention that if they hit 100,000 followers, they'll do a 24-hour stream. And if they hit 200K, they'll do a 48-hour stream. There's a bit of a ways to go. They currently have 22,000 followers. But of course, I'll leave a link to their Twitch channel down below. And they also did just get partnered with Twitch, which is really cool there too. If you want to check it out, help boost their numbers, you can do so. And also, if you wouldn't mind maybe boosting my numbers too. I do have a Twitch channel. I do really want to eventually stream, but I kind of got to get that social media worked up a little bit. I'll include a link to both of them if you wouldn't mind following mine as well. It'd be very much appreciated. If not, no worries. Last up here, we do have those mentionables from my community, which as always is that Star Models page. I am ramping these up a bit. I'm doing about 4 per video now, as I am super far behind, but hopefully I will eventually catch up. The first one here is from Advance, who is calling this one Professional Ospuzing. Definitely goes with the theme right now, as they are producing those IRL Ospuze cans. Really like this one. I love when they do the black and white feature with that, as well as how the Ospuze logo does play out here. That one looks very, very nice. Moving on, we have one from Galaxy, or GLXY, where he does make his Walter White impression, and he mentions it pairs well with the Snubnoser M60. And he's got a few outfits here that do mirror the TV show. Really, really nice one there. Love those cosplays. Next up here, we have one from Uncaged Bug. No labeling for this one, but I do think it's really good. I love the cell-shaded skin. It is probably my favorite in the finals, so I'm really liking this outfit and the colors that rock in this one. All mirrors and matches very, very well. And then last up here, but not least, we have T-Show, who shows off a really nice Diss-On combination. Again, really hitting on those mirror colors. The red, the white here, and even the little tone with the black. It looks so good. Really think it shows off Diss-On very well. Overall, though, check out cover for today's video. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, and until the next one. Deuces.